this is Guest17 and welcome back. Today we have gone back to Modern Warfare 3. Kind of felt I needed to break it up a bit. I've just been uploading Black Ops rather exclusively for the last few weeks. So I thought I'd stick in a bit of Modern Warfare 3 as I go for the little montage clip down the corridor, and no one's there. Today we have got you the Akimbo 57s. It was a 47 and I can't remember how many deaths I got. It was quite a few, but still 47 kills in Ground War I was quite happy with. This game boiled down to the fact that I was just I was playing with Vince and Jezza, and we've been playing for a while and we were a bit bored, so we decided to sort of stick on some little classes and just sort of muck around. And I decided to see if I could go for the MIOB with the pistols. Fortunately, didn't manage to get it this game, though I did manage to get it a few games later. And I already posted that, which you guys saw, and has got an astoundingly ridiculous amount of views on it compared to the. I think it's got like 4,500 views, which is incredible. But yes, I think Vince was running with a LMG because he was trying to get some montage clips or sort of some good little streaks and things with the LMGs, just for the fact he was I think he was trying to get some clips for some guy who was doing a sort of in-depth series, a bit like Drifters one. I'm not sure whether it was even Drifters series, but it was something along those lines. And Jezza was just running around with something that wasn't a shotgun, which I suppose is quite a bit of a break for him. But yes, I've said all I can about the 5.7 pistols. They're a brilliant pistol, and I really would recommend using them over being a bastard and using the FMGs or the Scorpions or the MP9s. Just sort of mix it up a bit and use the pistols. They're a heck of a lot of fun. You get some good range out of them. You can see I get some quite long range shots with these pistols throughout this game, and they're not awful, and they can hold their own in the fact that I pretty much held my own quite well in this game just using them exclusively. But yes, today's topic. Today I want to talk about something that was sort of a bit close to my heart, something I've always been brought up with. Fortunately, I'm very privileged to have been brought up in the way that I did. In the respect that I have always been brought up owning horses. We've got a sort of a farm as such, and we've always had horses here. And I've always been brought up riding horses. I probably learnt to ride before I could walk. It was just always, they've always been around. I've had them around for 24 years of my life. It's something you're very used to. And this commentary sort of came about. The other day there was on Saturday there was the Grand National, which is sort of the biggest horsing event of the year. If you didn't know, if you're not from the UK, and it's just a big horse race, and quite a lot of controversy came about this, mainly down to the fact that a couple of the horses unfortunately had to be put down after the race as they broke their legs during the midst of it, which is a horrible thing to happen, but that is the way it goes. And it's not exclusive to just horse racing. Horses break their legs out in the fields. We've had a couple which we've had to have put down when they've been out with just sort of in the fields, and they've sort of lost their leg down a rabbit hole, or have been kicked by a fellow horse, and their legs break, and there's nothing you can do about it. And the reason for this is, unlike a human, you obviously can't put a horse on crutches and walk him around for 6 weeks while his leg repairs. It's kind of a bit more risque in the fact that you'd have to support the whole horse, because they use all four of their legs to give themselves support. You don't have 3 legs which they can sort of support on. They're always using that fourth leg to support themselves as well. So you kind of would have to have the horse in a sling for up to 6 to 8 weeks to have the bone heal, which is not really so possible with the horses because of a very simple fact of same as humans. If you have an animal sort of stationary or a human stationary for a long period of time, fluid builds up in their lungs, and they'll end up getting pneumonia, which is a horrible thing to have. I'm not speaking from experience, but I know it's not a pleasant thing to have, and unfortunately, if the horse gets pneumonia, they'll more than likely pass away that way, which is a far more agonising and drawn-out process than having a sort of quick, sharp injection when your adrenaline's high and you've broken your leg. It's just the kind of way to put the horse down. So it might sound a bit brutal, and it might always come across a bit brutal, but it really is the kindest approach to do anything with the horse. If you have any more questions on this, I'll do my best to explain it and go a bit further into depth about it. But that's as far as I'm going with that, so I have something else that I want to go on to. And the second point is that quite a lot of people were watching the Grand National were saying that's terrible English. We're saying it's very cruel to make these horses race around the circuit for our enjoyment, and to some respects I will agree with that. It can look very cruel for these horses to be raced around for our enjoyment, for our betting pleasure. But what needs to be sort of mentioned is that horses have a mind of their own, and they don't want to do something, they won't do it. And you will never sort of experience this unless you ride a variety of horses or have to break horses in. Breaking horses in is a process that you go through with young horses, which obviously haven't been ridden before. You sort of break them in to get used to the feel of having a bit in their mouth, the bridle around their head, and the saddle, and the extra weight of you sitting on them. And when you're breaking a horse in, you get certain horses that will want to do things and other horses that won't. And this boils down to the thing I was going on to, which is jumping over fences or being raced. And certain horses will not like this. There's always going to be certain animals that will not like being jumped. We've had horses which whatever you do, the horse will not go over a jump. You can try and force a horse over a jump, but he will just root himself to the ground in front, or him or herself in front of the fence, and there is very little you can do when a horse roots itself to the ground. They are big, strong animals, and if they don't want to do something, there's more than likely you're not going to make them do it. And I have to say, I have seen people beat horses into jumping over fences, and it is horrible. And I don't feel those people should ever be allowed to own an animal. It's horrible to see it. But that said, even if you do manage to force a horse over a fence, it will not do it gracefully, and next time it comes up to a fence, all it's going to associate seeing a fence with is pain. And the last thing you want to do is it's going to resist against that as much as it possibly can. So you can't force an animal to do something if it doesn't want to. So you have to sort of accept that certain horses will do things and others won't. We've got one of our neighbour's horses. Is a very good horse, lovely horse to ride. It's a very good dressage horse, but he will not jump. If you push him towards a fence, he will just rebel against it and just plant himself and not move. It's the way horses work, and unfortunately you can't. They have a mind of their own, so you can't force them to do anything. So you will get horses that will resist jumping, and if you get a horse that resists jumping, it will not do it out of enjoyment. So as it is with humans, if you enjoy doing something, you're obviously more willing to put more of your effort into it and enjoy doing the process a bit more. So excuse me, with horses, if the horse doesn't enjoy doing it, it's going to resist as much as it can, and it's not going to be a fluent race or a fluent jumper, which means it will not be able to be raced in a sort of competitive stance against horses that obviously do enjoy doing it and will sort of go out of the way to jump easily. And this can be sort of quantified in certain simple facts, as if you look at the horses after some of them will lose their riders as they go around these Grand National courses, and instead of just stopping, as you would assume a horse that didn't enjoy doing this, you'd stop. The horse would stop instantaneously if it loses the rider, because it's not being forced or coerced around the course. And in doing so, you'd expect the horse to stop. But a lot of the horses will carry on jumping around these fences because it's what they enjoy doing, and obviously if they enjoy doing it, they're going to carry on going around these fences and jumping over them. And hopefully that is proved by these horses carrying on and jumping over these fences as they go around the course. But you'll never quite sort of understand this. This is only a point of view. It's only my point of view of what I've experienced with horses priorly. As I said, I've been brought up with horses ever since I was a little kid. And this is what I've sort of experienced with horses and the way I've sort of found that it goes. And you can't, I found you can't really force a horse, and if you do, it's not going to be a particularly good horse at jumping over fences. The horses that are better at jumping are the ones that enjoy doing it, because for the very simple fact of if you enjoy doing something, you do it better. But yeah. Anyway, I must express that horses that the thing I wanted to express is that horses that you see in the Grand National are the ones that enjoy doing it, and they are the ones that are better at it because they enjoy doing it, and they will sort of go out of their way to jump over fences. I mean, one of the horses that we've got, she loves jumping, and she will make an effort to jump as much as she can. I used to do a lot of competing on her. I used to do a lot of cross-country eventing, and as you're going around the courses, she'd sort of veer towards the fences rather than veer away from them, because she enjoyed going over them, and that was the way that horse enjoyed her life, and she still does. She's getting on a bit now, and she's a bit too small for me, which is why I don't ride her anymore. But you do get certain horses that love to jump, and those are the ones that you will see in the Grand Nationals enjoying themselves and having fun, and that's the way they have fun. So in some respects they are being a little bit coerced around, but they do enjoy themselves, otherwise they just wouldn't do it very well. I have to point out quickly, this lovely little kill feed unfortunately got broken, and I got hit by like 4 martyrdom grenades, but it was a quad feed with the pistols, which was awesome. But yeah, going back to it, you can't force a horse to do anything. It has a mind of its own. So I hope I've explained this well, and you guys can understand where my point of view is coming from. As I said, this is only my point of view, and I'm not forcing this upon anyone. If you have any further questions on this subject, I'm willing to do my best to answer them, but please leave them in the comment section below. Anyway, guys, this video has come to a close. Thank you very much for listening to me. But yeah, please leave me a comment in the section below if you have any further questions or would just like to voice your opinions on the matter. I'm very interested to hear what everyone's opinions of it are. Anyway, guys, thanks for listening, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye for now. Bye.